Yeah, so this time I got a message because there's something I wanted to talk about, but and I may talk about that, but this came up and this is pretty important. Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. Yeah, because we might be so focused on doing the next thing and growing even more, being more expansive, and we're making these milestones. We see ourselves making these milestones and going farther and farther. And I'll take time to reflect, right? Like the card says, I'll take time to reflect, but that's just like on the day, maybe on the past couple days. And I'll see all this stuff changing. Okay, cool. But then, just a little bit ago, I had this thought of like, whoa, my practices changed so much over the past year, 2 years, 3 years. Like go back that far, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And I would compare myself a lot of the times to like the worst parts of myself at like 18 years old, but then not think about the in context of some of these practices that I'm doing that I wanted to be like when I was 18. I wanted to be a certain way, and that sort of desire, that less that internal desire of like I want to be like more than this. I want to break free from some of these like um these cycles that I'm in, breaking free from those. And I would look at the worst parts of myself and not look at the seedling that was being formed. Because if I look at it now, I see the seedling being planted way deep, and it's like, okay, in recent years it took root. It took root, and then in recent times, like the past year, couple months maybe, it's like it's sprouting. So it's like it's just crazy to think to go back 6, 7, go back 10 years ago. Go back 10 years ago with the context of what you're doing now, and just reflect on how far you've come. It's fun to go way back and see how different you were, but at some points it may get a little bit misconstrued because you are just so different than how you were that it's like it's comparing apples to oranges. So that's why I like thinking back to it within context. I think context is big here, with reflecting, because a lot of the times I'll reflect and it'll just be like a trip down memory lane, and it's just like maybe not as impactful, but like within a certain context, we're kind of this is just a metaphor here, but we have these like keywords that we're searching for within our memories, and we're seeing, oh yeah, that was a time when I did this, and a time when I did this. I recently went through a lot of my old songs, and these are songs that I made at most like 2 years ago, and it was curious to see like how much I have changed and how much stayed the same. And what stayed the same was that thread, that current. The appearance changed, but the core of what I was trying to get at stayed the same. Yeah, yeah. So take time to reflect, and I think back to the 99.99 card yesterday. Take stock of your accomplishments and how you've arrived at them. Yeah, give yourself a little credit where credit's due. I would think, don't give yourself any credit. It's all source. But then it's like I said yesterday too. It's the 10%, 90% thing. Give yourself, you put in some work. You put in some work. So give yourself a little credit for it. I mean, we don't gotta hire floats and have a whole parade, but like, geez, sit down and give yourself a congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Like you've come very far. Just in the you're not the same person you were a month ago, even a month ago. Think about, this is May 28th at the time of recording. Think about how you were and how you felt and what your perception, your perspective was on May 1st, and then think about now. Leaps and bounds. You've had lifetimes within just this one month. And then June is coming up. There's going to be another month after this. What's that about? We just went through a month. There's going to be another month. of all this transformation of all, like it's you can't plan it. You can't plan any of this. It's just the more that is let go, the more baggage, and like I like seeing the first of the month as like the new beginning. It's the portal. We're stepping through the threshold into a new space of being. It's almost like stepping into I'm seeing like a mansion full of just like stuff to do. It's like we're stepping into like a new environment to like play around in and learn and experiment and develop ourselves a little bit more, and then we're going to be put into, and this is hypothetically yeah, hypothetically put into like a new mansion or just even a new environment. Let's not even reduce it down, like just a whole new environment where there's going to be new stuff to play with, there's going to be new things to learn, new things to experience. Yeah, it's so crazy to me. Like it's so crazy to me how much has changed yet stayed the same. Where it's like I've been waking up as this mind body organism for 26 years in different forms and fashions, like on the external world, on the in the world of the phenomenal, the material world, and I've gone through so many different mindsets and different things, and it's like lifetimes, it cycles. It's like when I'm going through something, just in my day, like something irks me in my day. It's like this is just a drop in the ocean of this cycle. There's gonna like that's it's gonna be inconsequential. This thing that's irking me or is grabbing my attention and keeping me in a bad way about it. So yeah, readjustments. Okay, overcoming obstacles, affection, comfort, romance, soulmates, support. Your level of self control is sufficient to make things right. On the horizon is the possibility of beginning a new romantic or platonic relationship, as well as a chance to begin anew with a person from one's past. Everything will fall to pieces. So that's curious at the end. Everything will fall to pieces. And then the reintroduction of somebody who may have been in your life, or the starting of a new friendship. You know, it's like it's like attracting these people who are more in line and resonant with you. You can't attract them if you're still in like this old form, this old self. So yeah, everything will fall to pieces. We're just gonna let it fall to pieces, and then these people who are attracted to this new frequency that we're in. And you know what I think about it too is that if you're attracted to your own vibration, then others will be too. If you are feeling good about yourself, if you are just happy on life, if you're just high on life, then others who are also in that same state will recognize and be attracted to you. And I'm not even just saying like they see you on the street and then they're like, oh, I want to go talk to that person. No, it's more quantum than that. It's more divine timing than that, where you know you might not even know this person, you might not even have had the thought to be in the circumstance to go to the place where you will meet this person. Like that hasn't even happened yet, but then you know one day one little thing will happen and then it'll set you in this direction, you'll go here and you'll meet. So it's like what I was talking about before, like you're going to be stepping into a new whole arena, and things things around you are changing and looking different because inside of you you're changing and looking different. I was struck so hard yesterday by the micro and macrocosm uh, axiom, where you know as above so below. On the macrocosm, whatever is on the macrocosm, the microcosm reflects it and vice versa. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that at that. I think that is just something that should be sort of meditated on and sort of like felt through. I don't know if I have the words to really expand on that. So yeah, what I wanted to talk about before I got the message was the concept of not being myself in different areas where, like work is such a big one. The typical 9 to 5 sort of ordeal. Where, when I'm in this space, I'm not myself. I have to downplay. I have to just become this like gray bland human being, and I can't be as expressive as I want to be because I have to be doing this thing. And what I've been seeing in not just work but a lot of areas is that there's no difference. I'm still myself. I'm just playing. I'm just, for some reason, playing this role, and that's what I see. Is I'm playing the character uh, of sad Caleb, of frustrated Caleb, of ornery Caleb. Yeah, and it's I just see that we're the same person in every circumstance. So this is grounding it a little bit. We're not talking so much on the cosmic scale right now. This is more boots on the ground, more subjective, more relative sort of perspective on things, bringing it sort of back to the ego uh, in the manifest world and how it's interacting. And it's sort of curious to like look at the ego from a higher point of view and see that, it's a curious thing. I saw this perspective of like being like we're all trained, we're all conditioned in certain ways to do certain things. I'm like when I'm playing the drums, I'm playing off muscle memory. It's like I just trained, I conditioned my body to be able to do this thing. I don't know why or how I do it, but I just do it. And then I also think in that same way of like my dog, when I hook him up to his leash and I'm letting him outside, he'll just stand there and look out the door, and it's like, all right, come on, let's go. And so like I realized when I go reach to close the door behind him, that's when he walks out. And it's just funny because like every time he'll go up to that door and he'll stare out it, and he won't go out. I'll say, all right, come on, let's go, and he'll just stand there. But then I reach for the door, and I don't even have to close the door. I just reach for it, and he goes out. He's conditioned. He's trained for these certain things, and then I just think that's consciously. Those are just the things that like I'm conscious of. They say 90 to 95% of what you do throughout the day is unconscious behavior. Is not even like, and that includes thoughts too. Like your 90 to 95% are unconscious thoughts. I'm gonna throw out some numbers, some statistics that I'm not gonna verify. There you have about 60,000 thoughts per day and 200 different emotions per day. And how many are you actually aware of? Like how many emotions? I've heard maybe like 4 or 5 at most. But you have 200. How many thoughts are you aware of throughout the day? Let's 100. Let's go 200 if you're really maxing it out. 60,000 though. So all this stuff is unconscious. So it's so curious to me that like back to the work example, that I sort of trained myself, conditioned myself to feel a certain way over years and years of having this perspective of work, and my situation isn't at all what I've trained myself for it to be, and it's actually sort of a fun experience if I just let it be what it's going to be. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So we have 99.99 again. Yeah, take stock of your accomplishments and how you arrived at them. This is a reminder to maintain optimism and drive towards your goals. Maintain optimism and drive towards your goals. Maintain your momentum. Momentum is big. And know that the powers of heaven have your back. You made it. And the reward goes to yo. It says yo without the you, but with the you omitted. I see it as like the universe, the you. It's making you focus on the universe, and the reward goes to the universe. And if the universe is the macrocosm, we're the microcosm, and as above, so below, the reward goes to the universe, which is actually you. You see what I'm saying? 2424. That's a beautiful card. You are worthy of affection, leisure, and pleasure. If you tell your family and friends how you feel, you'll find that you're all on the same page and can work effectively together. Many people are rooting for you. If you spread love, it'll find its way back to you multiplied. If you tell your friends and family how you feel, you'll find that you're all on the same page and can work together effectively. That's what I'm going through right now. Maybe you can relate, but that's what I'm going through right now. Is that the more that I express myself and tell my friends and family what I'm going through, how I feel, and all this stuff, infusing it with some humor too. I would sometimes think, oh, I'm just treating everybody like my therapist, saying what's going on. But then, once I got past that threshold of, just kind of saying what's going wrong, and I've learned to maybe share some of the beneficial and some of the more positive things, then it's like, oh, then they can kind of relate and resonate to that, and infuse some comedy with it, and everybody's laughing and having fun. So, you know, tell your family and friends how you feel, and you'll find you're all on the same page. So, whenever I share this stuff, it's like people relate to it. My friends and family relate to what I'm saying. And it's when I kept stuff inside and I was thinking, oh, well, I have to find the perfect way to express this, and how are they going to understand it, and all this sort of just like lamenting. That's when I got all abstracted and I felt isolated and separated. But then, once I just started opening my mouth and talking and just saying things, like people, I was talking to my dad and how you can say, anything. It's you can say anything. Like sometimes I'll say something I don't fully understand what I mean, but then somebody will go like, "Oh yeah, totally," and then like they'll go off on their own whole offshoot on like what that means to them. It's like I don't even know what that fully meant to myself. So it's curious how sometimes things are just meant to be said. Like this is sort of cosmic now. How things are meant to be said for the sake of transmitting a sort of idea, feeling, concept, something like that. So that's curious. And then some of the key words here are leisure, rest, holiday, pleasure, love, affection, kindness, and happiness. Just all the good things. All the good things. So that's and good times is the name of this card. Good times. So those are rolling in, and with lessons learned and good times, we're chilling. We're chilling. And I just had this thought: stay humble. We're chilling, but stay humble. That's gonna be basically, it's like a river. It's like having just like a big roaring river, and we want to sort of channel that and like be able to use the water for our benefit. So then we put like pipes and guides around it where we can move the water where we want it to go, maybe to power a mill. I don't know, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but um to power a mill, I just lost my train of thought. To power a mill, and yeah, reroute the water, do what we want it to do. And that's kind of what humility is, we all these good stuff is happening, all these good things are happening, uh but then if we just say, oh yeah, I'm the guy, I'm him, like, for me personally, like I'm the guy, it creates like, oh, I'm in control of everything, I'm doing this. But then humility is like, okay, we can exist, we can use the water, we can be in the river, but it's it's not like us personally who is doing all of this. So humility is big. So take it easy, have a good time, take stock of your accomplishments. Yeah, yeah. All right. So it's when I get started here, I feel like I can just continue talking for a while, but we'll see, where this goes here. I do want to end with a message from your higher self, maybe from our higher self, if they got into a room and we're saying, like, well, what can we tell them collectively that could be for their highest good? If like, what for everybody here right now, what could we tell them? What could we tell them that would be for their highest good? That they're saying, we know we've been through that situation, and what can we send back to them to let them know, like, this is sort of how to navigate this situation. This is uh some advice. So I guess that's what I'm gonna ask is, our higher selves collectively, what do we need to know right now at this point for our highest good? What do we need to know right now for our highest good? Collectively, everybody here right now who will ever be here watching this in this moment. All right. Be brave and honest, the knight. Yeah, be brave. Courageous is a synonym there. When I was doing my morning tarot read, I got the strength in reverse, and reading a little bit about it, it was talking about courageousness, being courage even when confidence wanes or wavers. And I just thought that was curious that, courage and confidence aren't the same, but courage and bravery are. So be brave even when the confidence, the feeling good about yourself, and oh, I know I can do this. I know I can, when that starts to wane a little bit, it's be brave and honest. And that honesty is sometimes, in the absence of bravery, there's uh, a degradation, just a tearing down of the self. So if we're being honest, it's not that, oh, we lost all our confidence and now we're on the opposite side of the pole. No, it's, we may not be feeling so confident right now, but honestly, that's okay. We're going to be brave, we're going to be courageous and continue going on. And, spirit and our higher selves are going to give us the power that we need. They're going to, our spirit team is going to give us the animating fuel, so to speak, to keep us going forward. So then we just got to do our job. We just got to do our job, which I can't necessarily pinpoint right now what our job is. Maybe just doing that 10%. Or, yeah, maybe just holding our desires in our field and letting them gravitate towards us as we gravitate towards them. Maybe that's what we can do. Yeah. So, yeah, be brave and honest. All right. With that, I'm going to play myself out. So thank you for being here. Yeah, this is becoming a very beautiful thing. Yeah, and I'm just excited to continue on this journey. And I'm curious to see who's going to resonate with what, and which paths or which junctures of our paths are intersecting. Like what are we both resonating with right now? That's curious to me. So anyway, thanks for being here.